You're listening to Exploring Anime with Friends, a JMO for Real podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and all major podcasting networks. I'm your host, JMO! And today's friend is my wife and co-host. How's it going today, Sarah?
Hi, everyone. It's going great today.
Are you excited to be, are you excited to be part of today's episode of Exploring Anime with Friends?
I'm always excited to be here and talk about this kind of stuff, but this is a heavy one for sure.
This one is a rough one. Yeah, no, it 100% is. Today we will be exploring the world of Takopi's Original Sin, psychological sci-fi in a relatively normal modern-day setting, released in June of 2025. Before I'm going to go into what we're talking about in this episode, I'm letting you know there's no way around it. I've always tried to keep these episodes, the rating down. I have always tried my hardest to make sure that, I could include as much of an audience as possible. This is where you check out if you're going to have a problem with this being a very mature episode. We will be covering themes of more or less how parents ruin their children's lives. There will be themes of child abuse. There will be themes of divorce. There will be themes of infidelity. There will be themes of suicide and bullying addressed through the course of this. So I'm not here to sugarcoat it. This is not an easy watch, but you'll quickly find out that just because it isn't an easy watch, that doesn't mean it's not a worthwhile watch. But at this point in time, I have to give you the warning that if those things are going to be triggering for you, it is best for you to tune out right now. First, we will be exploring Takopi, the little Happyan that comes to this planet and completely unaware of what's going on, completely unaware with no social cues whatsoever. And then we will meet our cast of children main characters that you see molded by the actions and the choices of their parents and how they end up interacting with each other as a result of it. And then we will dive into the story and we will look at what these interactions are and how they affect their every day-to-day lives and how Takopi interacts with it. And finally, we will go into some hard spoilers at the end. I know I don't do that all that often, but I think for this one, for those who listen to the end and aren't sure if you should watch it or not, I would say watch it. But if you're like, I can't bring myself to watch what you've talked about, then we're giving the hard spoilers for you. That way you can be in the know without necessarily having to go through it. But once again, just because the topics are hard and just because it will psychologically mess you up doesn't mean that it is not a worthwhile watch. Anything you want to say before we dive in and we talk about Takopi, the very happy, sometimes very unwelcomed part of the story?
There is one thing. If you are dealing with any of these things that was listed, any of these things are the trigger warnings for this episode, find help. Get help. There are crisis hotlines. There are ways to help in those situations. And I say that because at the beginning of each and every episode of this, they give you that. They give you the address, the website to go to for the crisis helpline, basically. So, yeah.
We will pop it in the show notes, too. Yeah, take care of what needs to be taken care of. Well, I don't know how to go from that sober intro. It's hard to watch at times.
Yes. The first two episodes are by far the hardest episodes.
And the thing that makes it the hardest for me is this adorable little pink squishy squid-like alien being, Takopi, who just puts the naive perspective on everything and just wants everyone to be happy.
Yep.
And it's kind of like, wow, shut up, Takopi. I don't know how to put it any other way. You made it all so much more agonizing for me at different parts. Talk to us a little about Takopi.
All right, so after the final episode, I was like, there is only one redeemable character in this entire series. That is not Takopi.
No.
Takopi is, like you said, he's this cute little pink squishy alien. He looks like an octopus. He comes from the happy planet, and
he's a Happyan.
And he's a Happyan. And his whole purpose, his whole reason in leaving the planet is to find someone and just to help make them happy. And you know what? That theme song in the beginning was adorable, and it looks so, so cute, and it's an absolute trap.
It's so wrong.
It is. It sounded so happy. Like, I knew, the only thing I knew was that there is like horror elements to this one, and and psychological elements. So when I saw that intro, I was like, oh, this is mean. But Takapi's just trying to make someone happy. And he's just so cute and adorable and incredibly naive about Earth and everything, like social cues. And he doesn't get why things like, why is she still upset? Oh, it's because of this. I'll do this to help. And then that just blows up in the person's face, but he doesn't even realize it. Takopi is the epitome of, well, he means well. Because Takopi is just trying his hardest, and he means well.
There's one point in time when two of the parents are arguing in front of Takopi, and it's a pretty violent argument.
Oh man, no, they're like yelling at each other.
And Takopi's like, oh, they're such wonderful parents because they're communicating
Yeah,
with each other.
They're talking so much to each other. They must love each other or something similar to that.
At some points, it was just sad. Like later in the series, I think it was more sad.
Yeah.
But at other points, it's kind of like, I don't want to hear you anymore. I don't want to read your lines. I don't want to hear your cute little voice in the middle of this troubling setting. The character of Takopi is probably very polarizing.
Yeah.
I think for some people, Takopi is the character that takes away the realness of it, maybe.
I mean, that's fair.
He is a breath of fresh air.
He is an alien from another planet.
So I think for some people, Takopi may have had the opposite effect. Honestly, when you watch this, just let us know.
What were your feelings?
What were your feelings on Takopi? I'm going to say the character was obviously needed.
Well, yes.
But
frustrating at times.
I mean,
enraging.
I don't know how to put it any
He
other
just
way.
never understood.
Takopi comes with all these little happy gadgets.
Oh, the gadgets are kind of cool.
Talk to us about some of the happy gadgets.
So there's the flappy wingies, which is just like this cute little like halo with like little wings on it, and it can make Takopi fly. It can make other things fly too, but once you hit a certain weight limit, it drains the battery. I don't know how the battery recharges, by the way. That's not touched. He's got this cute little happy camera. He could take a picture. That one's actually extra cool. Should I just give the spoiler on that?
Yeah, give the spoiler on the happy
So
camera.
it takes a picture like a Polaroid, and when you feed the picture back through, it rewinds time to that point. So that's actually a big part of the story. It's pretty cool. The reconciliation ribbon, which very specific, has to be put on the pinkies of two people, and they become friends. How happy is that?
I think if they're friends, they make up or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
basically, like, if they're enemies, they make up and become friends. Also has the transformation palette, which is incredibly useful. It gives him the ability to look like someone else, to like look like a person.
Another important one for the plot of the story.
Another important one. And there's also, like, he brought it out once in a while. It was called a ball pen, and it was just like a ballpoint pen with like a cat kind of like face on it. And he said that it cries like a Saturn. And I have no clue what that means, but that's what that one does. I'm not sure how that was happy, but that's just one of the gadgets.
Yeah,
it's not really explained. No one really goes for it. But those are his happy gadgets.
And he genuinely thinks he can solve everyone's problems with it.
Like one person at a time, I think, is what he's kind of going for.
Yeah, one person at a time, eventually everyone. But the first one at the beginning of the series that Takopi runs into is someone whose problems are not going to go away that easily. And the reason why I really wanted to do this one wasn't to talk about these characters. It was kind of to talk about their terrible parents.
Yeah.
So go into the background that helps to define what Shizuka is at this point in time first. And then we'll talk about her. Because a lot of times when you're dealing with the themes of what these children become during the course of this
That's
movie,
fair.
it's not going to happen without some sort of messed up parenting along the way.
That's fair. These aren't kids that were born without the ability to feel emotions or...
Yeah. We're dealing with some kids that have some severe
Oh, man.
social and mental issues throughout this show.
Yeah, definitely.
Starting with Shizuka, give us the history of her parents.
So we don't really know much about her dad, except that her dad left.
We also know that at the point in time when she goes to see him during the movie, he actually just flat out denies even knowing her.
He has kids now, like, other than her. I feel like if those kids weren't present, then maybe he would have tried to talk a little. But at that point, his daughter was like, why does she keep calling you dad? And he's like, I don't know. Like, yeah, no, first things first, that's terrible. But yeah, we know he moved off to Tokyo. and he has a family and obviously wants nothing to do with them. We don't even really see that much of her mom, except we do know there's definitely some like abandonment issues. There's only one time I actually remember seeing her mom in the entire 6 episodes, and she was sleeping, like they both were sleeping. There's some implied abandonment though, as far as I can see it. She's a struggling single mother, but the line of work she opted to do is what really started the bullying.
She's a prostitute. She is having sexual relationships with a man who is the father of one of the other children we'll be talking about. That leads to the bullying going back and forth there at that point in time. It's not hinted at. It's strongly implied.
I'm pretty sure it is directly said by Marina. So she's not really home much. She's sleeping with someone that she shouldn't be because that person's married. And I don't know if I got to like take 1 second to talk about Shizuka's backpack. If I were in that situation where I felt like I had to do that for my child, like that had to be my line of work, her backpack has terrible, terrible things written on it by the bullies.
Yeah.
And I would at least try to clean it off or something, or get her a new one for goodness sake. This is someone who's so out of touch with her child.
Yeah.
Like you can't even try to get something to clean off these terrible words that are on. Like literally the word die is on there.
It's not just the lifestyle. It's the fact that she genuinely doesn't care about her child.
Yeah.
Izuka is always wearing dirty.
Yeah.
She has multiple times said that her only thing that she has in this world is her dog Chappie. So, and she loves Chappie, and that's what gets her through.
It's not the mom, it's the pet.
Never there. And does that make sense what I'm saying?
I would think so. To at least get her a backpack, or at least like go to the school and be like, how'd this get on my daughter's backpack? Like I would be raising some serious heck if that happened to my child. I'd march down to the school. I'd go up to the teacher. Like,
yeah. And this all plays out in Shizuka's life, and you definitely see that she is bullied. She is ostracized. When she comes in with a new writing board, it's broken the next day. Her desk has the word die carved into it multiple times.
It's more than just one word. It's the same thing as her backpack. There's so many other words too that like we just don't see the translation of.
They're not just bullying her because they don't know better. Her main bully is bullying her because she wants her dead.
Yeah.
And let's talk a little bit about, we've already started to talk a little bit about her as a whole. Let's talk about Marina and her home life.
So if you've ever been bullied in school, in any grade, that bully is the most terrible, worst person usually. And Marina is pretty terrible. And we don't know at first why, because usually there's a reason. And usually it's because something's really sucky at home, and that's the way the bully gets control of part of their life. For Marina, it's personal, because her dad is the one that is sleeping with Shizuka's mom. And she's pretty much eventually gets to the point where she's like outright like hitting and kicking and like everything, like beating up Shizuka, and it's pretty much like, give me my dad back. And as much as I had a heart for her, I was just like, this kid is terrible. Like, what is happening?
And, at one point in time in the future, you find out that she gets scars on her face because after the dad does ultimately leave, the mom, she resorts to violence. And the mom is already a shell of herself. And she does the thing where I could see it where sometimes your child might be the only one that you have, but you still have to remember that
it's a child.
They're your child, not you're their child. And I know that sounds terrible because, and I'm no expert on this whatsoever. I'm not even close to even being semi-competent to talk about this.
Same.
I'm just talking about it from the movie perspective, from the series perspective, which does feel more like a 2.5-hour movie than.
No, that's very fair.
But yeah, it's just the way that her mom emotionally dumps and drains. You can tell that she's sucking out the last little bit of life. And as a result of it, she turns to bullying.
Yeah, Marina.
Marina turns to bullying to the point where,
where she's
has her in the woods, beating her down, telling her, I want you to die.
Yeah.
If what you're hearing so far has captured you even a little, we suggest that you watch Takopi's Original Sin for yourself on Crunchyroll. Check us out more on social media, like, subscribe, and follow. So we're getting to our third character, and he is kind of the bridge, the catalyst,
Yeah.
but also the divider between the two girls.
Yeah.
He plays such a huge role because if you haven't figured out by now, we've mentioned time travel and we've mentioned the one girl in the future. So there is an element in both future and present during the course of this. I'm going to continue to call it a movie. I
Yeah,
don't care
that's
at this
fine.
point. But he plays a role in both parts that, unbeknownst to him, he walks in on the situation though. But before we talk too much about Azuma, let's fill in the gaps of his mom
His mom.
in particular.
I don't remember if it said anything about his dad, to be honest, but his mom's the one that's raising him and his brother. And at first,
She's making bank too. She's a
yeah, no,
doctor.
she owns like a clinic of some kind,
Yeah.
like she's like got to be a doctor or something. And for like a very split second, I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you, a nice parent, because you see Azuma sitting there, and it's a younger version of him sitting there, and there's this great pile of pancakes in front of him. And at first I'm like, oh, cool. And then she like slides the pancakes away and was pretty much like, you didn't get 100% on this test. I guess you don't earn this. And I felt rage as a mom. I was like, what? My brain snapped somewhere. Like, it was a very visceral reaction when she pretty much said, and it's just pancakes. They're very like big fluffy looking pancakes.
You want the character that pisses me off the most during the course of the movie?
Is it her?
It's her.
It's her? Okay, that's fair.
100%.
That's fair, because a 94% wasn't passing. A 98% still wasn't good enough for her. And his brother is one of those natural geniuses, basically, where he doesn't even have to study, and he's getting 100% everywhere. But Zuma, he has to study, and he's studying hard, and he's still not quite there. Eventually, it's said that his brother is first in the country, whereas Azuma's second in the city, which is fantastic. And it's still not good enough for her.
Elitist bullshit. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, frankly, I'm not going to hold back on this part because it's far enough into the show and we already tagged it with mature ratings. So,
Yeah.
You know, she is an absolute bitch.
Is
And, you know, we can blame it on whatever separation there is with her husband and whatever tragic background story it is, but she's still living the dream to an extent. Yes, is she overworked and whatnot? Yes, she probably is, but she's running a clinic. She is wealthy. She is well-to-do. She has a son that's an absolute prodigy and another one who's trying his hardest to just become
just to
great.
impress her.
And he's doing well in school.
Yeah.
It's not well compared to his brother. And frankly,
And I hate that. I hate when parents compare their children.
yeah, absolutely hate it. And this molds him into a socially awkward kid who just is trying to find his place in this world. And, well, let's just put it this way. He sees the bullying that is going on and he sees what Shizuka is going through. And as the bullying is at its peak, he watches her and he's following her. Man, I know I'm jumping over a lot.
You are jumping over a lot,
He follows her into the woods as she's going there he doesn't see Takopi because Takopi is disguised as
yeah, I forgot
as a flower.
that gadget. Yeah.
And, Shizuka's here, but he sees Shizuka and Marina go into the woods, and then he sees Shizuka come out holding the hand of Takopi, and he looks over her shoulder, and she's dead. What leads to that point?
All right. So obviously we have the bully, Marina, and we have the person being bullied, Shizuka. Long story short, not even long story because it's only 6 episodes, and this only happens within like the first 2.
Yeah, this happens before the end of the season.
This is pretty early. Marina kind of corners Shizuka while she's walking her dog Chappie, and basically antagonizes to the point where the dog bites her, and she plays it up real big, like this was a terrible, horrible attack, and like I don't think there was even marks on her hand, but
And this is right after Shizuka tells Takopi, as long as I have Chappie, I'm going
oh
to
my
be okay.
god, didn't that just tear you up?
And I was like, oh, well, that dog's
Yep.
getting killed.
We are, yeah, no, as soon as she said that, yep, nope, Chappie's not making it. So Chappie gets taken away. That's what happens when people think that dogs are too...
Yeah, we didn't
Yeah.
give that trigger at the beginning.
We didn't. Yeah, someone's pet gets killed. It doesn't show anything at all, but we know what's going on. Shizuka's standing there with Chappie's collar, and Takopi's like trying to figure out what's wrong and trying to make her happy, and he starts pulling out the gadgets. And I've got to go into this one because of the absolute shock this one had. So we're watching it subtitled. Takopi's words are appearing on top while Shizuka's words are appearing on the bottom. And they're appearing at the same time, and it's hard to catch it. So Takopi pulls out this ribbon, And the ribbon just keeps getting longer and longer. And he's like, this is like a friendship ribbon. If you put it on your pinky and Marina puts it on hers, you guys will be friends. And I caught the bottom of what Shizuka was saying as Takopi was explaining, but I think you were still reading Takopi's part. In the bottom, Shizuka says, I'll take the ribbon and I'll use it for myself. And I immediately knew, my brain went, oh, shit, she's gonna hang herself. I wasn't sure if you caught that, and I wasn't gonna interrupt. And she just goes home. The next thing you know, Takopi's been waiting for her. Takopi tries to find her and sees her hanging there. And out of the corner of my eye, I honestly looked your way because I wasn't sure. And I caught your reaction. And my heart broke for you because you didn't catch her line that said that.
And it's crazy because you knew something like that was coming too. It's
Yeah.
just, I didn't catch the line on the first watch through, which is why after that point in time, whenever I felt like there was something that I missed,
We stopped and
I
rewound
was
it.
quick to rewind
Yeah.
and go back. Yeah, but it's really, when it comes down to it, Takopi already has a picture from the second day that Takopi was on the planet, and this is day 6 at this point. Takopi reloads the picture, and Takopi just keeps on going through, trying to change everything to make it to where there is an opportunity at all for Shizuka to survive this whole thing.
Basically trying to save Chappie to do so. He knows enough to see Chappie's the thing that's keeping her alive.
Yeah, and then it happens one of the days that Takopi is still playing it through anyway, and that's when this confrontation in the woods comes up, and Marina is just belittling and telling Shizuka that she wants her dead.
Beating her up, too.
Yeah, like
kicking her while she's down, literally.
there was probably going to be someone dying in the woods either way.
Probably.
She was probably going to beat Shizuka to death there, but Takopi just can't take it anymore. And Takopi takes that camera, the thing that's allowing him to reset time, and bashes it into Marina's skull, killing her instantly.
Yeah.
And breaking the camera. So there are no longer any resets.
No redos. Like, this is our life now.
This out from here. And they run into Azuma as they're leaving the woods. And this is where you realize that it's kind of like, it's absolutely terrible because Shizuka is celebrating the death.
She literally, at the beginning when she met Takopi, she was like, I don't believe in magic. Because Takopi said, you can come back to my happy planet. She's like, I don't believe in magic. When Takopi killed Marina, she was like, I believe in magic. Like, I can't believe you did this. Thank you, Takopi. Thank you so much. And she's crying these tears of joy. And it was like, I was emotionally wrecked from watching this. I wanted Marina to die, don't get me wrong, but when it happened, it shook me to the core. I was not happy with where this show was going.
Yeah, Shizuka uses her charms because apparently she has this double eyelid thing that's absolutely beautiful.
It's actually a thing. Well, I don't know what exactly it is, but double eyelids are like, it's a beauty symbol kind of thing.
And she gets Azuma to be her accomplice in this thing. Gets rid of the body, which resurfaces very quickly. Everything just kind of spirals from this point in time.
Yeah.
And at this point, we haven't covered what Takopi's original sin is.
Yeah.
Yet. Is it giving the happy item to Shizuka and she ends up hanging herself with it? Is it going back in time? Is it the actual murder? No. Tell us about the original sin that takes place not in the past, but the future.
So I had wondered at one point, like, what would have happened, and I honestly did wonder this, what would have happened if Takopi found Marina instead of Shizuka? And surprisingly, I found out. We discovered that Takopi has come to Earth before, and Marina was the one that found him, and yes, she was definitely mean about him. She kind of like kick him around and like poke at him and stuff, but at that point, she was the one he wanted to make happy. And try as he might, nothing really worked. And he realizes that, in his still very naive way of thought, that if he rewinds time, kills Shizuka, it should be happy.
Yeah.
At that point, Marina and Azuma were actually like kind of dating. Marina's mom was much nicer to her because Marina had a prospect.
She had just broken out of the depression
Yeah.
of the father abandoning her for another woman. She had just broken out of that depression.
Yeah. And suddenly Shizuka's mom and her like moved to the area, and Shizuka is someone that Azuma knew when he was younger and had always liked her. So he starts drifting apart, and when he drifts apart, it's like everything that made her mom better to her completely fell apart.
Yeah.
So while Takopi is there at this point it's the future, he realizes, If Shizuka's dead, then Marina's happy. Then Azuma won't leave her. Marina's happy. We're all good. So he traveled back to his home planet because he hadn't used the camera yet with Marina. So there was no rewinding it there. But he traveled back to his home planet where there's this giant clock. And he can rewind the time there. And as he's kind of seeing the planet a little bit, he's talking to his mother. And at first it's like, if you truly believe this is what you should do, you're gonna forget everything when you try to go back. And for killing someone, you're gonna be banned from our planet. And twice, I think, in the series, up to that point, Takopi's like, oh, I can't return home. I don't remember why, though. And this is why, because he was gonna rewind time and kill someone. So he's like, pretty much to heck with it, we're gonna rewind time. And as he's going back to the planet, he is forgetting everything about Marina, slowly forgetting her name. I really like how they like staticked out part of Marina's name. Like he'd say March, and eventually the whole name was gone. So that was Takopi's original sin. And honestly, as much as I can't stand the premise of the bullies and the suicide and everything, that was very well written. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, very well written. And this is going to bring us to our point where we're at, because at this point in time, you should definitely just go and watch this. But if you don't feel like you can watch this, but you want to know what happens, we're going to give you the hard spoilers now. We do recommend that you should see this, but we understand if you don't want to. Giving you a moment to check out right now. All right. On this second time around, we are now at this mess where Azuma has become an accomplice in the murder and everything. Takopi takes the place of Marina for a little while. A geological survey uncovers the body just like days later. And we're now at a point where Shizuka's doing whatever she can do to not go to juvenile. She manipulates Azuma into taking the fall for her. Except his brother,
the only freaking redeemable character in this entire series,
the most wholesome character of the show, realizes something's up with his little brother. Azuma comes heart to heart with his older brother, and he just tells him everything, and he's honest. And Azuma breaks off all ties with Shizuka at that point in time. Just a final goodbye, because his older brother is taking the fall for the murder.
It's not directly said, but it's pretty obviously implied there.
Yeah, and Azuma's mother is going to fall into illness as a result of it because of the stress of that. And Azuma's trying to figure out where do you go in life from here, because he can't go back to the only friend he has in class. He lost his confidant. And yes, his father does return to the scene at that point in time, but it's kind of like his world is falling apart, but not as much as it would have fallen apart if he took the fall. Meanwhile, it's like there's some dark moments where you see Shizuka really embrace the evil that has come into her heart.
Oh my gosh, yeah. No, she becomes so manipulative.
Again, it's not directly said, but as the newspaper headlines flash, you can tell she kidnaps her father's two daughters.
Like her stepsisters?
Yeah, her stepsisters. You know, you can tell that's what happened. And it's like, I had to go back over it a couple of times. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, when that happened, I thought it was referring to Marina and Shizuka.
No.
Disappearing.
It's just.
But no, you were right.
Pure evil has consumed her at this point in time. And it's at this point that Takopi realizes, I screwed everyone's life up. I messed everything up. I need to fix this.
So, Takopi has his own happy power. He gives that up to use the camera one more time. And what that does is, it in essence kills him. He makes the sacrifice, he takes himself out of the equation, and he gives them a chance one more time before Chappie dies.
Kind of writes him out of existence.
It kind of does, but it doesn't too. Because both Marina and Shizuka have like these little fleeting, not sure why they think that about that thing moments. Like Marina's being a bully again, of course. And she happens to see this cute little octopus drawing on Shizuka's notebook. And she's like, oh, what's that? And Shizuka's like, I don't know. You know, it's probably not that helpful, whatever it is. Marina's like, yeah, it's probably pretty useless. And they kind of have this bonding moment over this little octopus doodle.
And then it projects years into the future, and it shows the two of them shopping with each other.
Yeah, just standing side by side.
Because that little bit of connection that they can't explain anymore.
Yeah.
Because Takopi's not there anymore.
Takopi's gone.
But Takopi left a little bit of a connection, and that connection wasn't able to change either of their lives at home.
Yeah. They still had terrible parents.
But it brought them to each other.
Yes. It gave them a common ground.
And in the final scene of the whole series, they see the little Saturn or Jupiter cat or whatever
The
it
ball
is.
pen.
The pen. And they both know what it is, and they don't know how. But you see at that moment that they are friends, and they brought each other through the cesspool that is their lives.
Yeah.
Wrap it up for us, Sarah.
Jeez. Am I going to watch it again? No, never. It's done. Am I glad I watched it? Yeah. It hits hard in a lot of real life things that don't get talked about enough. There was only one redeemable character. I will still stand by that. That's really all I got about this one, though.
I've gone back and forth with where this lies in the greatness of anime history, and I'm still not sure. But the way everything wrapped up at the end, the way that they wove the stories in and out, the way that they deceived you to think that they were going into the past when they were really going into the future during that 4th or 5th episode, whichever one it is, the way that they tugged the emotional heartstrings, I'm glad I watched it, is great. I'm not sure that I'm going to go out and say masterpiece. I know some people are throwing that word around. I'm not sure where it settles. Like, it doesn't land in my top 10 favorite animes of all time. It doesn't even sniff the list. I'm sure it doesn't even sniff the list in my top 50. Maybe it does so because the amount of emotion that it made me feel.
If you're going on emotion, it's a winner.
Because, like, I've mentioned great anime stir up emotion inside of you. And
yeah.
This one did. It was start to finish that way. I'm not quite ready to call it masterpiece yet, but you guys have heard in, like, the first 55-ish episodes of this show that I've only called one thing a masterpiece, and that was your name.
Yeah.
So this is right up there in that conversation. I am not going to come at you if you're calling it a masterpiece, if you're calling it a work of art, a once-in-a-lifetime, a defining anime for the generation. I'm not sure I'm there yet, and I still need some more time to process it.
That's very fair.
But I ain't arguing you. So this is one of the best things I've seen from anime, period. And I'm going to hold to that. Yeah. And I'll probably use the M word someday. I know I'm not going back and watching it a second time.
I'm with you.
I don't need to feel it all over again because the feeling is still very real. So once again, we met Takopi. We met the children that Takopi interacted with and the parents that are just horrible. We went into a little bit of the story of how they all interact together and then gave you some hard spoilers at the end. And an honest, raw opinion from both of us that frankly defines both unease and greatness at the same time. We hope you had as much of a eye-opening experience with Takopi's Original Sin as we have, and you consider watching this anime. So if you like what you heard today, make sure you listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or wherever you stream your podcast. Listen to all of our J-Mill for Real podcasts, and hit us up on social media, like, subscribe, and follow. Once again, this was Exploring Anime with Friends. Let's explore together. And now for a word from our sponsors. Bin Buster. Live from YouTube, it's Tuesday night, the call sign of the Bin Buster YouTube channel. Once you hear this, you know you're about to embark on a journey through pop culture, movies, comics, and more. Buckle up and enjoy the ride every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. EST. Poppin' Cinema with Joe Mama and friends. Showcasing the power of cinema, join Joe Mama as he introduces different friends each week to a movie they have not seen before, popping their cinematic cherry as they talk about the movie they just watched every Tuesday at midnight.